Yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is your host, Rob, back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. Unfortunately, no biffers today. I got a text message like 30 minutes ago that said, can't record, all hell is breaking loose. So, we'll be sure to tell you about that on the next episode. However, I do have a very special guest on the episode. Oh my God. She's so damn doofy. Maybe that's why I love her. You've heard me talk about her a lot of times on the show over the past year. My lovely girlfriend, Ijeoma.
Hey guys.
I knew you were going to say,
How's
hey
it?
guys.
Sorry, this is my first time doing this, so if I'm a little awkward, but hey, hope you guys are doing well.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to be careful with our conversation because Skype is doing this thing wherever you talk. If I start talking, it cuts off your sound. But we heard what you said. Thank you for joining me, babe. Thank you for being my last minute emergency. So, what'd you say?
No problem.
Oh, I should post this video so y'all can see. Yo, let me tell you, fellas. You ever want a good laugh? Just randomly like FaceTime your girl when she gets off of work. My girl be walking around her apartment, just don't care. It's always a hoot. Anyway, I know y'all like, wait, you got your girl on. What are y'all gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about us. So we have known each other now for over 10 years. We still fight over
Yeah.
if it was 08 or 09. We can't remember. I think it was 09. Oh, not, no, 9 or 10. 2009 or 2010. I don't remember. No, it had to be in 2009.
Yeah.
I don't remember. One of those years. We've known each other for a long time. We met on the internet on Blog TV. Shout out to Uncle Joe. Joe Budden had me on there laughing and looking at his life. So I started my own little show on Blog TV all those years ago, talking nasty at 2 o'clock in the morning for no reason. And this chat bubble pops up with someone who joins my chat room amongst the other people. What was your name, babe? I can't remember.
I think it was Nigerian Beauty.
No, it was Nigerian chocolate.
No, that's
No, it was
that's Skype.
Nigerian chocolate.
Oh, that's Skype.
No, it was Nigerian chocolate. I remember.
So then what's my Skype name?
Nigerian chocolate. You always use that. You think it was
Okay.
Nigerian Beauty all those years ago? I think it was chocolate.
No, because we were using Skype for that long. I had two different names.
But that wasn't okay. Maybe you're right. But I still refer to you as Nigerian chocolate. So she called herself Nigerian Beauty, maybe, possibly. So she started flirting with a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do my thing and hosting, and I start getting all these like 25 messages a day from this chick.
Okay. Now you lying. You know that's not true. Don't lie to these people, okay?
Nah, I don't even remember how the conversation started with us, but she said something, I said something. I think you complimented me. And so I was a big proponent of when camera phones and stuff came out. You know, this was like the era of like the explosion of them. I'm like, all right, I need to see what you look like before this goes any further, before we start talking trash, because yeah. And in came Skype. And when I saw her, I said, oh. And when she saw me, she was like, eh.
Why are you doing that?
Why are you not talking? So what's the next piece of the story? Your turn.
Well, I mean, okay,
What?
so yes, I've had that piece right. I was perusing around different blog TV, I guess, sessions at the time. And then I happened to like run into his. And I was just like, all right. And I saw his username. So I was just like, let's see what he's talking about. I don't know if you mentioned what your username was,
Oh, I
but
don't even remember.
I think it was Noop something.
Oh, probably Noop 1949.
Okay. Yeah. So then
The
I was like, okay,
superpowers got her, y'all.
oh my gosh. I was like, let me see what he's talking about. I'm like, oh, okay. He seems like a nice guy, whatever, just chatting, talking, whatever. And then I don't know how many times it took for us to really like message each other. I think I had to go to your chat room a few times first.
Yeah, I think you went a
And it
few
was
times.
kind of like I was a regular.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of that.
For those of you, if any of you listening who are part of that chat room, she's the reason why it ended because I just started talking to her instead. So,
Wow. You're gonna tell people that I'm the reason why you didn't do blog TV anymore?
well, that and I was actually doing my student teaching at the time. I was still in school, so I
Mhm.
literally had to wake up and go to work a couple hours after I did that. So here's the other part of the story. Um, she lived in California. I lived in South Carolina. Yeah, and there's a 3 hour time difference. That was not fun, and it wasn't easy. But I'm just all the memories are flooding back now. So I don't want to put too much of your business out there. But she worked at a department store. I worked at I think I was working at GameStop still,
Mhm.
and I don't remember. But we used to Skype a lot. So for the people out there listening, what kept your interest? Like, I mean, I know I'm a cool dude, blah blah blah, whatever. But like, with that much distance between two people and y'all really ain't got the money to see each other, from your perspective, what was it that kept you interested? What made you continue to connect with me? I mean, I know the answer, but just talking to someone out there who may be looking for someone or maybe dealing with this situation themselves, this is for y'all. So we're just telling you our story. There are some ups, there are some downs, but from your perspective, and she's in the kitchen. You worse than Biff. At least you mute your phone now.
Yeah, I'm trying to mute my phone. Sorry, y'all. I'm cooking dinner, so trying to multitask.
Are you gonna answer the question?
Oh,
You ain't hear none
are
of
you?
that?
Yeah, I did. You're asking me like to give advice for like that situation.
Absolutely not. I said what kept you interested.
Oh, sorry. That's what
So
I
I
missed.
said with us being broke and not being able to see each other like that, and 3 hour time difference, didn't really. I mean, we're just two strangers across the United States from each other. What kept you interested? Like, what made you keep the conversation going or whatever?
That was definitely for sure your personality. I think we had like an instant chemistry. So we just enjoyed each other's company
What?
and each other. So I think that had a lot to do with why we stayed in contact for so long. Because honestly, when you think about it, if you're across the country from someone you've never met, you've only met online, you've only had interactions online, like that
The
could
nasty
easily,
kind of interactions, by the way. But go ahead.
okay, another episode. But um, yeah, so it's easy to really just kind of like fall distant from each other, especially if you don't have any face to face time. So I would really say it's just the chemistry you have with someone. I mean, that will really kind of draw you in. And if you feel like that person is like giving you quality time, and you did that. You made time out of your day to talk to me, see how I was doing, checked up on me, and that really made a difference. So, yeah.
So, fellas, that's I'm glad you said that. One of the things I've always strived for when it came to distance or me not being able to be there physically, I always want my presence to be felt. Whether that's a phone call, a text message, a gift, anything. Like, when you know you're going to be absent or you have to be absent because you're grinding or whatever, you definitely want your presence to continuously be felt. Like, you want her to be able to look around her apartment or place and see something and that remind you of you. Or you want her to be able to look in her phone a couple of times a day and be like, oh, my baby sent me a picture or my baby's texting me. Like, if you don't do that, the old phrase, out of sight, out of mind. So I want to be front of mind. That'll also reveal a lot to you about the other person and their communication style. If they're not reciprocating or they're telling you it's too much or whatever, it tells you a lot about the other person as well because it shows a side of yourself. And unless the person know that you care, like, hey, in lieu of my physical absence, here's these text messages, here are these phone calls, here are these gifts. Um, I have to say my answer to her would also be the same. I'm going to answer the same question I just asked her about what kept me interested. I was in a really, I don't want to say dark, but like I finished school. So I finished college in the fall. So I could not get a job in my career field yet. Because it was education. So couldn't, obviously I can't teach, and I probably could have, but no. So I had to spend basically a year grinding until I made it teaching. So I mean, I was in a small city. I love my HBCU. Shout out to Claflin University in Orangeburg, but there weren't any opportunities for me to really make money there. So it was really rough for me. And talking to you like helped me get through a lot of rough times. And on top of the fact that you were attractive. Oh, I forgot to mention, y'all. Her, and she's looking at TV. Her computer didn't have any sound. So we would literally be on Skype. We would literally be on Skype, and I would talk to her, and she would have to type messages back to me.
That's how I knew you were loyal. And I just knew you were the
Like,
one. Yeah, absolutely.
yo, that was
It
the
was a lot.
wildest thing. Sometimes she would put in her headphones, but I remember you were still staying with your parents, so you didn't want them all in your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend's, she's very private. I like it and I don't like it, but she's very private. Like, she's the most private person I think in my life. Like, if you don't know her, you know nothing about her.
It's a good way to put that.
I
I'm gonna have
know.
to use
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. I had to really get past some things in my mind with that, because I was like, like, you could mistake that for you being sneaky or you creeping, but once you see it across the board, it's like, oh, that's just how you are. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah.
Um, but even back then, you were like private. It was funny. So, on to the next phases. So, after that, what happened after that? You remember?
After
Yeah,
Skype.
I ended up getting a job eventually and moving. We kept in touch.
Yeah. We kept in touch for a little bit, right? And then we didn't. No,
Yes,
actually, we kept it. Yeah. Man, this timeline is gonna be so difficult. It's so long.
just say
At a
you forgot.
point.
I'll save you.
Okay, then go ahead and share the story.
Your black ass
I'll
forgot
chime
for
in.
real?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I want you're a good storyteller, so
yeah.
I'll
She
let
want
you
me to
do
tell because she watching TV. So I, no, we did. There were times, periods, where months at not even months, maybe years, maybe a year or
it.
6 months. So basically, one time we quit talking to each other because of me, because I was just looking at my life, my situation. I'm like, I can't ever, like, I can't afford to even go see you. Like, I can't afford a plane ticket. Like, I'm barely able to pay my bills now. And that would typically happen. And then, we weren't together. Like, we liked each other, we talked, we kept in touch, but we weren't together. So naturally, both of us were dating. So she was out there in them streets, I was out there in them streets, dating. So, but when you like someone, you don't want to hear about that. We tried that too. You remember those conversations?
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, so are you dating anyone?" You hoping the answer is no? Yeah, we talked to each other about it though, but we both decided like, nah.
Definitely, it's a no.
Never felt like cheating talking to each other when you were dating somebody.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2016.
hmm
Yeah, 2016. Your turn. They don't want to just hear from me.
Oh, 2016. Woo! Yes, that was the first time we met, actually in person. So we had the opportunity. We, figured out some plans, a way to see each other. So we happened to cross paths at a certain time. And so we worked it out, you know? We were able to see each other in person for the first time in 2016. I know. So from 2009 to 2016,
Wow.
that's crazy amount of time to keep in touch with someone with not actually seeing them. So that was a really great weekend.
It was. You're not gonna get any details. You're just gonna say that's how you want to
Oh,
leave it.
you want to give a detail?
You're so vague. Like you know, that's like one of the best parts of this. That's like the climax. Well, one of them.
You're a better storyteller. I told you that. See, I'm not. I'm
All right,
not good
yeah.
at this.
So, but Nat, she's watching TV and she's nervous. So, she had it was a conference you were going to, right?
Yes.
So she had a conference she was going to in Atlanta. So South Carolina's not that far from Atlanta. And I had to go to New York Comic Con. So a brother's pockets was busted. I started doing real estate though, so I had a little extra bread. And she was like, "Oh, are you close to Atlanta?" I was like, "Yeah." So she told me where she was gonna be at. I was like, "Yo, I gotta take advantage of this opportunity. I gotta get them cheeks." So we
Wow.
You weren't thinking that too?
Absolutely not.
You weren't thinking you. Okay, you want me? I'm about to expose you. So let me tell you.
What are you about to say? Go ahead.
So first of all, you just lied on yourself because I'm about to expose you. She wanted them cheeks, y'all. So I don't know if you want me to tell this part, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. Remember the documentation we sent each other?
Oh yeah.
You don't want me to say
Yeah.
it? You
You can say it. I mean, they're
okay?
adults to this.
You're an
So.
adult?
Okay. Really?
Nah. So this is one thing y'all need to make sure you do if you're in this situation, just dealing with people. So obviously we had a connection. There was trust there, things of that nature. But we knew we was about to get it in that weekend. Like it was like I have not seen you. We've been on video doing all kinds of anyway. So we both got huh?
Inappropriate things.
Oh, that's definitely another episode. Woo. So we both got tested and we sent each other our results from the test. I got all the tests you can get done, HIV, all that stuff. She got all her testing done, sent it to me right before. So we both knew that okay, we're dealing with someone who's clean. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't use condoms. So
Oh my gosh.
So my heart beating out of my chest. I'm driving down. Let me tell y'all the story. So this is what she don't know. So brothers, you know how we do. Like you know when you about to meet up with a lady, especially one you care about. You want to be fresh. You want to be clean. So you know what I'm saying. I had no way of being able to do that. I gotta drive. What is that from Charleston? 4-5 hour trip. So you on the road, so you smell like road already. I got the AC on. I make sure I got my arms up so my armpits not sweating, bruh. So I get there, maybe an hour and some change before her flight. So like I'm nervous.
Mm.
Now she paying attention. So this is the stuff because she never heard this part. I might have told you some of it. So I'm nervous. I'm at a gas station. I think I went to Chick-fil-A, got something to eat, and I was maybe like 10 minutes from the airport, just chilling. I was like, I'll just wait here till she lands. Man, I look in the mirror. My eyes were mad red. I don't know where it came from. I might have had contacts in. I don't remember. My eyes were mad red. I'm like, yo, I can't let her see me like this. So, oh, by the way, I had a personal trainer that summer, so I was like in the best shape of my life. So I go to the store, I get eye drops, to get rid of the redness. Then I buy some baby wipes. You know, I had to go in the bathroom, get a little fresh right here, so I can
See this part before.
huh?
You never told me this part before.
Yeah, I mean, so I wipe my armpits, or wipe my privates and everything. I mean, I didn't think we was gonna do it in the car, but I'm just like, I don't know, cause like the way we were on Skype, like I don't know what could have happened. So I was like, I need to make sure I'm fresh. So I did all that, reapplied deodorant. I was like, all right, I'm straight. I actually changed shirts too. Like the shirt I drove down there in, I changed out of, cause like I was sweating a little bit. Like I want to make a good first impression. So. She finally gets there. Dang, and I had it was that was in was that what month was that?
I was like
Was it October?
end of September.
Yeah, yeah, because I had birthday gifts for her too, because I missed her birthday, and I was a broke ass nigga. So, oh my god, so we get to the airport, and I'm standing at baggage claim. And I get the text message, I'm here. What? So I walk back out to my car and I almost left. Like I was like, she'll be all right. She don't know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, babe. I didn't do that. So I just waited for her. And it was tough because I'm like, I know what she looked like, but I don't know what she looked like. And then I turned to my left and I saw that big old smile and the nervousness, and you walked over and you said, "Hi."
Okay. Really?
That's not. Would you?
Like, hey, wow, you're taller than I thought.
Yeah, I did tell her she was mad taller than I thought she was. That was the nervousness speaking. I was like, nah, you're like mad tall. I said it like 8 times.
Yeah, you did. I'm like, okay.
But y'all, let me tell you. So she messed me up. She had on this damn jumpsuit. To quote the great legendary LL Cool J, "The jiggling baby, go ahead baby. The jiggling baby, go ahead baby." Them cheeks was like wonk 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 wow. I didn't. You knew what you was doing when you put that on.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. You remember what happened next? You don't remember. Tell the next part of the story. I need you to help me narrate, okay?
So then we go to the car, and then we're sitting in the car awkwardly.
Yeah, I put on mad Vaseline on my lips before I saw her too. Like, cannot have the ashy lip. But
We were sitting in the car, like I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to be here, like, nervous. And then I think you asked for a kiss.
I definitely did.
And then my lips were a little dry, so I was like, oh, let me,
Yeah, let me tell you, them lips. No, go ahead.
And then so I put on some chapstick or whatever, and then we had our first kiss. So that was really memorable. But then right after, he mentioned to me that you said you were allergic to something.
Yeah, so I'm not 100. I'm like 95% sure. I'm allergic to SPF. So the sunblock stuff, like my lips will like break out, like it looks bad. So she had on lip gloss and was kissing me while we were kissing.
SPF in it. And then I told him, he was just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, because you were like, you might break out. And I'm like, freaking out. Like, this cannot be the first interaction that we have. Like, I was just going to be devastated if that was the case. But we ended up being okay, guys. So.
Yeah, I did. That's scary because like the breakout, I had one a couple years ago. It wasn't as bad as it was when I was young. Like I would get bumps all around my mouth, like all the skin around my mouth on my lips would get really, really tight, and then it would all peel. And it was like a week. It would be like a week and a half process. Like it's the most uncomfortable thing in the world. I hate it when that happens. So that didn't happen. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, because you would have been like, So after that, You know what I'm saying? We driving. I couldn't find the hotel. I had GPS, but it was just driving me crazy. But while we were driving, I gave her, I think I gave you one of your gifts. I don't remember which one you opened, but I gave her a gift in the car. Them eyes started watering. Oh my God, you didn't have to get me anything. Y'all, let me tell you. I didn't drop a ton of money, but I dropped a nice chunk of change on her. It felt good. It was well worth every penny. Like, I wanted to get you some meaningful things that you were going to use. Fellas, you always win with Amazon gift cards.
Yeah.
Yo, so, well, first of all, that kiss was absolutely magical. It was everything I imagined it would be. That, when you have like a thought or a feeling in your mind of what you think something's gonna be like, and then it turns out to be the way you thought it was gonna be, there's nothing better than that, I promise you. So get to the hotel. Naturally, the dude at the counter looked at her butt, but I had to let it slide.
Oh my gosh. Did he really? I don't remember.
Yo, well, you probably used to it because I mean, you've had it behind you forever. But I'm observing, like when I go out, I look at other people to see what they're doing. Um, ooh, and they had them famous Amos cookies in the lobby. Was it? No, not. What's them Otis Spunkmeyer cookies? Ooh, yo. And then she tried to be funny. We get to the hotel room. She walks up to the door. I seen you arch your back a little bit. Talking about, you gonna open it? Oh, so
Oh my goodness. In all the details of this.
I'm not gonna give all the details. But anyway, we get to the hotel room and we had a great afternoon.
Amazing afternoon.
Yeah, it was magical. Then we went to Cheesecake Factory. So I know. Go ahead. This is the part you love.
Well, we went to had a little our first like date, and we went to Cheesecake
No,
Factory.
before that, we got pulled over.
Oh crap! Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Well, I totally forgot about that. We got pulled over, which we were like super close to the destination, and then like Rob makes a right, and then we just all I know is I just saw the red and blue lights, and I'm like, are we getting pulled over right now? And I was freaking out. I was so nervous. I like
Yeah, this was like, y'all, this was like at the height of people getting killed by the police. Like, a lot of that was going on. So, I'm from South Carolina. If you're from South Carolina, 90%, 90 to 95% of the lights, you can turn right on red. So, we exited. I stopped at a red light. I didn't see a do not turn right on red sign. And I turned, and he pulled me over. We didn't get honked at. There were no other cars. But, she was like mad nervous. So when I get pulled over, I open my sunroof. I let all the windows down, cause like I don't roll with nothing illegal, nothing like that. If I do have a firearm on me, it's gonna be legal, whatever, and it's gonna be in the condition it needs to be in whatever state I'm in or whatever. But yeah, she was mad nervous, and I didn't get a ticket, but I asked him. I was like, I came to a complete stop and turned right at the light. I was like, I'm from South Carolina. Are you not allowed to turn right on red lights in Georgia? He never answered my question. He just went to his car, ran the information, and came back and was like, drive safe. And was looking at my woman. Anyway. Go ahead. He looked.
I don't recall that. Okay, I definitely was looking down at my feet. Okay, I was not looking up. But yeah, so we get after that, we get to the restaurant, and it's a nice little intimate, cute little dinner. We're talking and order our food. I don't think you ate anything because you weren't hungry. Like you said, you weren't hungry, right? Or did you order
Yeah, I
something?
had that. I did. I had chicken marsala. It was like really like 5 thick ass chicken strips over some noodles that were very bland. We did, not to cut you off, but to cut you off. So we both were laughing because if you've ever been to Cheesecake Factory, their menu is like a novel. So we asked the waiter how many chefs that they have in there. I think he said they had like 7 or 8 chefs at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. But go ahead.
But yeah, so we're just enjoying our evening, eating, and this mug is doing what he's doing right now. Yawning. He starts yawning uncontrollably throughout the whole time we were there, like long yawns, not just a quick little, oh, no. These were long, drawn out yawns. I'm like, dude, you tired? He's like, I don't know what it is. I think it's these lights. It must be these lights in here. It's so dim in here. I'm like, okay, maybe we should go. Yeah.
She was mad because she wanted some more love when we got back to the room, and she was like, "This nigga better not fall asleep." Oh my god. Yo, it was the lighting though, y'all. It was mad, like it was super dim in there. Like it was almost black. Like it was like a club. Like it was dim, yo. But I was tired because you gotta think about it. I woke up that day. You got to sit on a plane and go to sleep. I had to drive to pick you up. Then it took us like an hour and some change to get through traffic to get to the hotel. Then I gave you a world class performance once we got there. Oh, yeah.
Rough topic. Sorry, y'all. I'm just giggling because we're looking at each other, so this is a little difficult for me.
We are. And we're going to see each other this weekend, which is going to be great. But, so, go ahead.
So, where we going?
All
How
right.
much?
I'm going to finish with the story. Go ahead. So, did we go anywhere? We didn't go anywhere after that, did we?
Right back to the hotel.
We went back to the hotel, right? So, let me tell y'all about this mug right here. So I ain't gonna lie, this part is kind of foggy to me. I don't know why this part is foggy to me. Maybe because I was tired. What happened when we got back? I went to sleep. We showered. Oh, we showered when we got there too. Let me tell y'all. Go ahead.
You gave me another gift to open.
I did. Oh, damn. Okay.
Remember?
I just said I don't remember. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I gave you another gift. Okay.
And then, I got a phone call.
Yo, listen. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, this mug was like, yo, this mug was like, I gotta talk to my sister. I'm like, this my time.
You said it just like that too.
Yeah, I did. I'm like, yo, I drove all the way from South Carolina to Atlanta to see you after all these years, and you want to go talk to your sister. Y'all, she got on the phone with her sister. 5 minutes went by. 10 minutes went by. 15. After that 15 minutes, I was gone. And she was mad. But go ahead. She had the nerve to be mad at me for falling asleep.
I didn't anticipate the conversation being that long, but it was. You guys know how that is when your sibling calls you. Just sometimes it's longer than you expect. Anyways, got off the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's sleeping. Like, I was like, all right, you know what? I know he was tired. He was yawning when we were out. Like, he's probably really exhausted. So I proceed to just turn off the light, get into the bed. And as soon as I get into the bed, guess who wakes up?
That's how long you was on the phone. I got a nice restful
Uh,
nap. You was on the phone for like an hour. I think something serious was happening though. I don't remember. You was on the phone for like an hour with her.
yeah, I think I was.
And I felt you get in the bed. Go ahead. They're listening.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. You should take it from here. Rob, stop looking at me like that.
After that, we proceeded to have adult fun. Yeah, a lot happened that night, man. We had a lot of sex, y'all. Like a lot, like a lot. It was really good too.
You know,
And
and that's enough. Sorry, but that's too another thing that could be a risk of meeting somebody online that you don't really know, especially even if you do have chemistry, like just, getting to know somebody. I think as well, when that physical chemistry comes into play, you never really know how things are going to be. So for me, it was just like, I try not to have any expectations because you really just don't know. Like, what if you have expectations and it just wasn't what you thought? And that would be really disappointing. But I came into it like, okay, we have great chemistry, we connect, we have good times, we have great conversation. Let's hope that the physical also matches. And it was
Yes.
more than I expected. So,
Yeah, I just knew. Yeah. Just thinking about it. Oh,
shut up.
yeah. I only have one expectation, so, and you met that expectation. So I'm gonna leave that part out. Oh man, shout out to Russell Stewart. Uh, yeah. So all of that was well, and got better with time too. My goodness, as amazing as that was, we were trying to kill each other now. Uh,
Oh my gosh.
yo, I do feel like that sometimes.
Please excuse him.
Nah, so after that, I messed up big time, y'all. So, this the part she don't like. So, that the physical part definitely brings out thoughts and feelings and stuff. And sometimes you do and say things that you may mean, but then you think about them later. So, I was taking her to where she was going. I think you were meeting up with like your cousin or something in an apartment. And I asked her to be my girlfriend. All right. So she was a smart, level-headed one and said she needed to think about it. And by the time we got there and she was getting out of the car and she's crying because I'm leaving, she was like, my answer is yes. And I was like, no, we should think about this more. And she's like, you're right. Like, there was so many emotions going on. Because I'm like, okay. Because I know the type of boyfriend that I am. Like, I want to see you. I want to shower you with gifts. Like, I want to treat you like a queen. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I need to think about this because, like, somebody got to move. Like, this whole you living on the other side of the United States after what we just did, oh, I need that more often than once every 6 years. So, I screwed up. I don't know if that I would say screw up, but I felt like that was a misstep. I spoke too soon. And I've already told her this part too. Like, I even had like this. I told you about the letter. I did tell you about the letter. So so I also had like a letter I wrote her, but I didn't give it to her. Just telling her how I feel about her. But I didn't give it to her. I just told her about it like a couple years ago, actually, or last year, or this year. It was either this year or last year. I told you about it. But when I got back to South Carolina, she got back. She had an attitude. So here's where our first, this was our first kind of rift came into play. And I'll tell it from my perspective, and she can tell it from hers. Oh shit, she paying attention now, y'all. Oh my goodness. So, when I got back, I was trying to transition out of education and into real estate full time. So my schedule changed. So I didn't have the same time that I used to make for her because, like, she understands more now than she did then. But, like, when there's a 3-hour time difference and you're 3 hours ahead and that person is 3 hours behind you and you can't talk to them until, 8, 9 o'clock their time, and y'all talk for an hour or two, you're going to bed 1, 2 o'clock every night. Like, and then you work 2 jobs. So it was like destroying me. So I had to cut back on that a little bit and like get rest and do whatever. And then, this mug had an attitude, right? So I'm like, yo, I got to do wazoo, wazoo, wazoo and do this, you know what I mean? So I can get to the next step. But I'm like, yo, it's not that I don't like you still or whatever, but it's like my life is busier now. But I also told her this before Atlanta. Like I gave her a heads up, like this is like my schedule is going to change and I'm not going to have the same uh amount of time free, you know, as before because of the change in my schedule and what I'm trying to do. I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. Fellas, they never understand. So, um, I
I
had
will.
to, huh?
I will. I didn't expect to like you as much, like to like you more after that trip than I did. So I think that it threw me off a lot because I didn't all those feelings I had. I just didn't think I was gonna be so not understanding. Crazy about that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And part of my issue too is I'm every other person I've been with before you. Not that there's been a lot. There's only two. Not to talk bad about them, but like personality wise, like you know how you get tired of people, y'all. Like you just like I just don't want to be around you. Like I just want me time, my space time. I kind of still had that attitude because I didn't know you that well like that. Like I don't even want to say that because I did, but it was still fresh. So we hadn't been around each other is what I'm saying, y'all. So when you get around someone, that really lets you know. You know what I'm saying? We haven't been around each other, so I'm like, it's probably gonna be like it always is, and she probably gonna nag me like the other ones did, blah blah blah. Boy, was I wrong. Come to find out, but um, I told her maybe we shouldn't talk to each other anymore because I couldn't give her what she wanted, which was the time, and I was tired of all that lip. So we quit talking to each other for maybe a year or so, something like that, because that was still 2016. So maybe we picked up somewhere in 2017, because y'all know how it goes. You scroll on social media, you see their picture or a post. What did you used to always say?
Right.
You say you would go look at my profile, or you would see what? Don't act like you don't know now.
I don't remember, what did I say? I don't
What you
remember.
afraid to see?
Oh, that you had a girlfriend?
Yeah, you used to be like, I was afraid you might have a girlfriend or be married.
Yeah.
Nah, ain't nobody want me, man. I used to try. Um, so the other thing too is like when we started talking again, I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was 2018. I think it was the end of 2017, going into 18, maybe. No, it was 20.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2017. We started talking again, but you were in a relationship, but you weren't happy. I forgot why I messaged you. I
Yeah, we
messaged,
talked about it.
huh?
We talked on the phone about it.
Yeah, I messaged you. We talked on the phone about it. I definitely wanted to throw salt, but I didn't throw salt. Um, but I had to back off because I'm like, even though we hadn't talked in a long time, like all those feelings just came all rushing back, and I was like, that's not fair. So let me not do that. Um, then we were talking. Then I started talking to somebody. And the same thing happened. I was like, I can't really talk to you like that anymore because like we can't be like her and like me and my girl, like we can't be friends. Like yeah, we can't, like if we're not together, like we can't. It just so my situation ended with the person I was talking to, and I made a decision. Some personal decisions in my life. She made some personal decisions in her life, and we had a conversation. And it's funny because everyone tells me that, you know, when I moved, they're like, oh, you moved to be with your girl, you moved to be with your girl. And I was like, that was icing on the cake. Like I wanted to move and she wanted to move. Right, babe?
Absolutely.
So we were talking one day. This is 2018. We were talking. She was free. I was free. I think she still had niggas on the side, but don't want to tell me.
No, don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't do that. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. You
You
want me to, you want me to press you on the podcast?
press me today. I'll see you this weekend. It's fine. Go ahead.
She still had niggas on the side or whatever. She didn't love him though. Sorry, checking my phone. And so we were talking in 2018, and she was telling me how she wanted to move, and I was telling her how I wanted to move, and we just happened to want to move to the same areas. You had a few places you were thinking about. I was thinking about a few places, but we both ended up landing on the same area. Different reasons why. I was actually shocked that you wanted to move because like California is like one of the meccas, but I guess it's the same. Once you grow up somewhere, you've been there all your life. You know, it doesn't have the same pizzazz anymore. Don't tell anyone I said pizzazz. And I wanted to move because I lived in this area before, kind of, sort of. I lived in Philly. So I'm used to the metropolitan life, the fast-paced life, the options of food and shopping and just things to do. And I was ready to get back to it.
Me too. I was
Thank
ready
you.
for change. Sorry, I was ready for change. So, like, yes, like you said, I was born and raised in California. So for me, it was just kind of like people were asking, like, why do you want to, like, why would you want to move? But for me, it was more so personal reasons of just like to say that I was able to move to a new place on my own and adapt to a new environment on my own. Like, it was for personal growth and also just professionally as well. So I had a few reasons why, and Rob was always supportive of me and always gave me some advice and things to think about. And he was always somebody that was there that I could rely on, that I trusted, through this process. So it, definitely made it easier having someone in your corner, supporting you through a really big decision. So I definitely knew for sure if I'm like, if I can be closer to him, I mean, let's clarify. I didn't move just for him. So I want people to know that. I didn't move for him solely, but I moved out of my own, it was my own personal goal of mine. And it just happened that we had similar goals at that same time of like relocating. So I think this was kind of an adjustment in our lives that like we finally had the opportunity to be in the same area
Yeah.
for so long that it was just so exciting to like reach that next step. So we're finally there. So it was
We
definitely worth the wait.
definitely. One other thing, important thing that happened. Well, two things. Well, to touch on what you just said, y'all, and again, this is for people who may be in a relationship or going through things. Don't forget you can hit us up from myexperiencepodcast@gmail.com or FME_podcast on Instagram. Uh, when you make moves in life, like there's a plan for you and then like there's a plan for us. And in the past, I made a lot of decisions based on us while the other person was making decisions based on me, them meaning themselves. And I always ended up with the short end of the stick. And I told myself I never put myself in that position again when it came to a major move. Unless I had to really see that the person was willing and able to reciprocate it, because you set yourself up, and I really dug a seriously deep hole for myself trying to do that. So this was a selfish decision for me to move. I'm just ready to be out of here because I've been wanting to move like years ago, but I stayed for the sake of other people and other opportunities and what other people had going on versus what I wanted. But so that the move was organic. Like you can't just, because again, at that time, yeah, our moves aligned with each other, but we weren't together, and we still had not really spent time with each other. We only seen each other that one time. So an opportunity arose. an opportunity arose. One of my closest friends, shout out to Swazi, was getting married in Jamaica. I've never left the country. I hadn't been on vacation since '88 when my dad took us to Myrtle Beach, and I asked Ijeoma to come with me.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. Now she said she had to think about it at first.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's go back because I wasn't I was one of the options you had. Let's clarify that
Huh?
you had other people you didn't straight out ask me the first time. You said potentially you have some people that you might be asking. I was somewhere on the list. So
You were on the list.
I was like, all right, if he really wants me to go, he's gonna ask me. So I just waited to see. That was all.
That list dried up quick. Um, it did. It did, cause I didn't want to make a mistake with you again. I didn't want us to go through anything like we went through before. Another important thing, ladies and men, we both grew up during that time period. Like, she ain't gonna say it, so I'm gonna tell on her now. There are some times where she felt like my advice was me talking like she ain't know nothing, cause there's an age gap between us. I'm a little older.
Mm.
Shut up.
I like
She's
older men. Let's
Oh
just
my
put
god.
that there.
So she used to call me Gramps, which is funny now because she be the tired, sleepy one all the time. Um, but we had what, a 6 year? Because I'll be 35 in December, so we have a
Yeah,
6 year age difference. So there was times where she felt like I was trying to tell her what to do because I had more life experience and she don't know nothing is inexperienced. And it was never that. It was, I don't want you to make some of the same mistakes that I made when I was your age and trying to do some of the, like the stuff that you were about to do or doing. I'd already done 2 and 3 times and messed up two out of those 3 times. And I was trying to get you to avoid those. So maybe I guess I got better at delivering the message over the years, but you did also let me know that you appreciate it. And then later on, like now, that's how we communicate. Like I come to her for stuff, she comes to me for stuff, and we figure stuff out together because it's like we a team. Like you need to be able to benefit from whatever you're trying to do. It ain't about me and what I can get out of it. It's about what you're trying to do because if you good, I'm good.
absolutely. And I will say this, like I'm stubborn and I know that about myself. And I think obviously thinking back on it, I'm like, I know he had my best interest at heart. Sometimes you just gotta shut up. And I just know that now. Like you just gotta be quiet and let somebody give you a different perspective than your own. And I think sometimes it's hard for us to like do that because we think we're just so concentrated on our own plan and our own vision of what we want for ourselves that we don't want to hear nobody else telling us anything. And he never really talked to me like terrible or bad, but I just think I was so closed off in hearing what he had to say that it sounded like you trying to tell me what to do, and I don't want to hear that. But a lot of times, if someone cares for you and they show that they have good intentions, just listen. Just listen, because 9 times out of 10, you probably need to take that advice, and it will help
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I went through that. Boy, had I listened when I was supposed to listen, let me tell you. But we ended up going to Jamaica. So that was the beginning of what we have now. Went to Jamaica. And it was funny. It was just like Atlanta. I got there first. Um, so I'm nervous still, even though we've been Skyping and seeing each other and talking. you know, I was a little rounder, a little fluffier. Some years have gone by. And I was thinking about that first performance. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that again. Um, set the bar high. I didn't meet my bar. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And I was drinking a rum punch at the airport, and Ellie was like, "Oh, who you here? You're meeting your gal." So that was a terrible Jamaican accent. I apologize, y'all.
Sorry. Good.
So I was like, yeah, I'm meeting my lady here. We just talking. And I'm telling her like, how she's flying from California, and I was like, I don't know where she's at, and so she was like, go, I'll watch your drink, go find your gal. So I'm like in the airport looking for her. I got some strange person, I have no idea who she works at the bar, so I'm like, hell, she spiked my drink, I know where the hell you work at least. Uh, no, she was watching my bags. I had my drink with me. She was watching my bags and stuff, which is probably worse. And I'm just looking and looking. So this mug is you was stuck in check-in, right?
Um,
Customs. Yo, she was in customs for like 45 minutes. Now, when I got there, nobody was in customs. Customs was
that
like the
line was
club when it first opened.
that line was absurd. It was hot. We just got off a plane. Nobody. There was no air conditioning. It was just. It was terrible. It was terrible.
It was terrible. But finally, she turned the corner. We saw each other. We hugged. We kissed. We looked into each other's eyes. And at that time, we both knew what time it was. Um, we got on the bus. Not gonna say
Oh.
what happened on the bus.
Oh my gosh.
Got on the bus. Yo, this was the best worst bus ride of my life. When I say that rum punch came rushing back to my bladder, y'all, I almost peed myself. Like I have not had to hold my pee like that in years. I had to pee so bad, and when we finally got to the hotel, there's two of them side by side. We went to one that wasn't ours. I ran off of that bus to go pee. They almost left me. She stopped them though. She stopped the bus. I had to pee so bad. But we got to our hotel our resort, and it was a lovely trip, man. I encourage you, especially if you're in a relationship, even if you're single, bruh, go on a vacation somewhere and put your phone in airplane mode. It will change your life. Like, I can't wait till we do that again. Like, we're gonna do that again soon. That was like just to be able to, so we really got to spend time with each other. She got to meet some of my friends, some of the people who were are near and dear to me. Like, these are college friends, so these are people I've known since 2003. Like, so these are old friends, and she got to see, well, I'll let you tell it. Go ahead, be all womanly.
No, I mean, it was really nice because, I mean, he's talked about these people before, but I think it was really nice putting faces and names together and seeing him in a different element. That's an important point. If you're in a like new relationship or you're kind of building something new with someone, that's very important to like make sure that you see this person in the different elements because you just want to know. That's how you like find out more about them. You can see them when they're with their friends, how are they acting when they're with their family or when they're with, their best friend or whatever. And it's important to like see them in these elements because it just shows you things that sometimes you can't really ask right out front. But anyways, I just met them. They were super lovely and very warm and very welcoming. I was really nervous because, I mean, I don't know, just
Yeah, this was, so I was really humble because, like, y'all gotta think, we've known each other that long. Oh my god, we've known each other that long, but like this was literally the second time us seeing each other physically, and the second time is a trip to Jamaica to one of my nearest and dearest friends' weddings. So that's a lot for someone new to take on. But I really appreciate you for coming, and I knew you had, you always had those things about, man, I'm nervous, blah, blah, blah. But all of my friends, they act like, the people that are really my friends, they act like they're like me. So, like, there's never going to be a problem. There's never going to be an issue. There's never going to be any drama. Like, everybody's going to be cool, chilled, and laid back. But you don't know that. Like, people can tell you that, but you don't know that. But these people were. But go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, they all just they received me with open arms and it was a really good experience. I mean, just seeing him, he just was so happy, like catching up with his friends, and it just was really nice seeing him in that element. And we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I was still kind of nervous that first night, so it was just kind of like, all right, just observing,
Hmm.
checking things out. But you made me feel comfortable when you were just checking in on me and how I was doing. But
Yeah.
I feel like that moment or those moments really kind of helped me like become closer to you. So that was very important.
This is true. We'll talk about this trip in detail later.
Yeah.
And how I got abandoned in one of the restaurants. Yo, before you go on these trips, yo, learn when the restaurants open and close. We are both food people, and we both love to eat, and we almost starved a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to buy her $7 Snickers. But long story short, or long story less long. Beautiful ceremony. Was it the wedding night? It was that night. So we get back to the room all cozy and comfy, and that was the first time I told my lovely lady that I loved her.
Yay! We're in there. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So not even in a relationship yet. Like I just told her I loved her because it was the truth. Um. So I kind of made up my mind about a lot of things by that time. Just one, she'd proven herself over time. Two, the way I was feeling was completely real. Um, and three, I knew she wanted the same thing and she was willing to put in the work. So we talked in the airport, and the question became, because you had landed your job, I think, or were close to it.
Hmm.
I ain't have anything yet. So I was looking, but I hadn't landed anything yet. So, I was like, well, what is it going to take for us to like be together? And she said she wanted to be closer. So I was like, cool. Um, so I was like, I guess that's what I have to work towards. And she told me her expectations. She wanted to see, you say we wanted to see each other, what, 5 times a year?
Six.
Okay, 6 times a year. Y'all, let me tell you, I was so nervous when she said that. Uh, I was like, all right, cool, yeah. You'll be right there, and well, I don't want to put out where you live at, but you'll be right there. Yeah, you'll be on the East Coast, whatever, bruh. The way my money was looking, I'm like, I'm gonna see this motherfucker. But anyway, I lucked out because flights from where I lived in South Carolina to DC were dumb cheap. Like when I say dumb cheap, like $180 round trip. So it was. I saw you. Dang, I saw you what, like 3 times, 3 or 4 times before the summer even really got started.
Yeah.
Because the flights were so cheap. When was it? It was twice in February. I don't know, but yeah. So once she moved and we were closer, I asked her if this was close enough, and she said yeah. So I brought her some sweet grass roses from Charleston. Um, and I flew up to see her, and I hid the sweet grass roses. I don't know how she didn't see them. I got to see her car, a little poop poop. Um, and got to see the way she drove, which is hilarious. And
I hate driving.
so tell them what happened next from your perspective. I'm tired of coaching you. You're supposed to be cutting me off. Like, let me tell it.
I'm not good at this. So I mean, I didn't know that he had this like gift. I didn't like I just wasn't I was just so excited. I was just like moving so fast. I just didn't think about it. And then, you know, gets inside the apartment, we're like, all right, make yourself comfortable, whatever. And then he stops me at the door and I'm just like, and I'm moving a mile a minute. I'm just all over the place. And he was just standing there. And I'm like, well, hello. I mean, come on, you're here. Like, and he just was looking at me and he just stopped. And I was just like, okay. So I stopped and I stood in front of him. I looked up at him and he was just like staring at me. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't even know what he was gonna ask me or anything. And I forgot what you said, but you you just asked me the question. You're like, will you be my girlfriend? And I'm like, absolutely, yes. And then, yeah, he gave me the roses.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, that was so, like, I was so elated. I was so happy because this is what I like wanted for a while, but it just never really worked out. It just, it just wasn't the right time. I should say that. Now looking
Yeah.
back, it just wasn't the right time. And now that I'm just so glad that we didn't push it at those times. I'm glad that we like were patient and we waited.
The other thing that those of you listening need to definitely keep in mind is when it's not the right time and you really care about that person, you got to respect that bond. Like, we always kept it real with each other. We always kept it honest with each other. Like, if I was talking to somebody or she was talking to somebody, like, always gave each other the choice of, 100% choice. Like, we didn't lie and trick each other or whatever like that. So that was important because there's respect throughout the entire time. Like, I can't name a time where I was disrespected or you lied to me or didn't tell me something I asked you about. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything that was important. Like, and even stuff you didn't want to talk about because I'm just a naturally curious person and vice versa. So I think that's important too, man. And that's what made this easier. So that was February. Oh shoot, our anniversary's coming up. Wait a minute. That was February of this year, and I still had a miserable. I was miserable in South Carolina because like I really wanted to move by then, and I actually just got a job down there, and then I actually had a job opportunity from a friend. Shout out to Stephanie, up here. She hooked me up with. I landed it in June, and then I landed two jobs in June. And then that's when I moved in June. So, and boy, did I spoil you. Whew. This mother got to see me whenever she wanted. Didn't care either.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you had to
Quality.
drive. Until you had to drive and help me at work and realize what that distance do. She said, "She, you still ain't close enough."
But I appreciated it, babe. It was very thoughtful. Like I could tell obviously your effort. I mean, you cherish the relationship, like you put in the effort. Like it wasn't just like you didn't just say it and then that was that, but like you put in the work.
Well,
And
thank you.
I appreciate that because that goes a long way with me. So
Hmm. So yeah, that's our crazy story. There's probably some detail. Those are the important parts.
yeah, there's a
Uh,
lot of years and times in between
yeah,
that honestly we can't necessarily break down because it's been such a long time. I don't even know if I remember.
we had one fight. It was hilarious. It wasn't even really a fight. We've only had one in all these years
We had one.
because you was tripping. Um, it was good though. You know what's funny about that? I think I told that story on here. I don't remember. Um, I did
Hmm.
actually. I think I did a few episodes ago. Don't do that. When you respect someone, our communication is like beyond the way we feel about each other and how great our sex is. Our communication, I've never communicated with anyone the way I communicate with you. Like, it's like on 10,000. Like, even when we have a disagreement or somebody's upset, like, we are literally able to just sit down and talk about it. Like, I hear you out, you hear me out, and then that's it. And I'm not an overreactor. So, like, I react to things at times, depending on what it is. But most of the times, when something happens, I stop and think about it because I know what I do next can either escalate or de-escalate the situation, because that's what's going to happen. Typically when people get in a conflict, somebody does something that the other person may quote unquote consider wrong or whatever, or something happens between the two of you, and then you have to make a decision. How am I going to react to this? You know what I'm saying? So she had a reaction, and then I had a reaction, but I started to have reaction, but I changed my mind because I was like, even though I'm upset and she was upset, I was like, I don't want to escalate it, because when you escalate it, you don't know what could happen next. So
Mm.
I was like, you have to really, and I had to think about it. I'm like, 10 years, like, do we really need to fight about this? The answer was no. So we talked about it, got past it. And I mean, we're still growing and learning each other. Like, we have spent a lot of time with each other now, a lot of time. So we learned a lot about each other. And I'm glad that she is who she is. Like, you is
Oh,
who you is most
thank
of
you, baby.
most of the time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
You
still
guys can see this that he's making at me right now. We just go back and forth, but that would be funny if they can actually see us. But y'all don't want to see me. I look crazy. But
fam. Yo, crazy is not even the right word.
you get comfortable with someone.
My nigga, yo, when I y'all seen the stories, when people get comfortable, you don't get none. When she go out, oh, they get all the love and glory. You know what I get? You just got out of bed at 2 p.m. But honestly like that. Now, when we go out, she gets dressed up and stuff like that too. So I actually get to see both sides. But we're both, that's the other thing too. We're both bums. Like, I will, like, we've been out, what, maybe three. We've actually gone out maybe 3 or 4 times since I've been here. Usually we in the house. We in the house eating, watching good shows, just being around each other, man. We're both just those type of people. Like, I don't like going out all the time. And it's expensive up here, bro. Like, I just read, I forgot where I was looking, but like the average date in this area is like $130. That's about accurate. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, thank you for listening. Hopefully y'all learned something from this. Hopefully you got something from this. Hopefully this helped your situation. Um I know long time listeners, you've been hearing about my lovely lady for a long time. And this is her. I'm actually
Hey,
going to huh?
Kevin.
I'm actually going to interview her on another episode, so she'll have to talk more, because I know some of y'all like, man, she ain't say nothing. She nervous. I called her like literally like 10 minutes before I was about to record because Biff bailed on me. So I was like, well, this would be an interesting episode. So yeah, I just wanted to give y'all a bit more of a look and more insight into my life and me as a person. So I wanted to share that with you all. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for being subscribers and listeners. Shout out to Libsyn. They're doing a great job. And y'all can catch us on all those platforms, man. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play Music, Stitcher, probably 10 other places I can't think of. You can hit us on Instagram, FME_podcast. Don't forget, we have a great Facebook group. The Facebook group is very funny and lively, From My Experience Podcast. And you can always email us from myexperiencepodcast@gmail.com. And if things go the way I want them to go, we'll probably do another holiday giveaway and give away like a $50 gift card right before the holidays to a lucky listener. I have to come up with some.
Can I enter in that? Or is that just okay, never mind.
How you gonna enter in it?
I'm a listener.
You already know I'm gonna hook you up. I don't even know what you want.
I'm a listener.
Oh my
Enter
gosh.
me in the drawing.
I have your Christmas gift picked out already. I'm probably gonna buy it in a couple weeks.
What?
Yeah, I already have one of your Christmas gifts. I'm gonna get you 3.
You gotta talk about your birthday because your
I'm
birthday.
trash. My birthday is trash, bro. Are you even gonna be here?
Yeah.
Oh, when you leave? Okay, we can talk about this off air. All right,
Okay.
we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.